It is Michelle Auclair and Nicole Smith here with you today. We're both executives with Singular, and we thought we'd spend a few minutes going over the red and blue box that you just recently purchased. And if you haven't gotten it yet, soon it will be in the mail to you. So we thought we'd spend a few minutes and go through step by step and give you some tips and tricks that we've learned along the way that have helped us, and now hundreds of other people have great success on the program. So we'll quickly introduce ourselves to get started. Why don't you go first, Nicole?
Okay. Hey everyone. I'm Nicole Smith, as Michelle said, and I have been with Singular for nearly 2 years. My journey started as a weight loss journey, and that's not the journey of many, but for me, up to date, I am down 37 pounds and have maintained that weight loss for just over a year, and my husband is down 44 pounds. It has helped us with so many health issues that I can't even get into it. I could go on for hours, and changed our lives. So that's kind of a quick recap of my journey.
Awesome. So thankfully Nicole shared her results with me, and I too had great success. I'm not such a weight loss success story. I didn't have a bunch of weight to lose. I'm more a success story on the wellness side of things, and that's what I love about the program, is that we're in its entirety a wellness program. Weight loss really is one of the benefits. A lot of people come for weight loss, but it's just one of the benefits. So for me, my first 8 days, I lost just under 10 pounds. I've kept it off now for over a year and a half. I've gone on to lose a little bit more, build lean muscle, but the biggest wins for me definitely were on the wellness. I've gone off prescription sleeping pills, pain medication for my back, energy through the roof. I'm off of acne medication. I had adult acne, and mentally I've never felt stronger. A fog has been lifted, my clarity is on point, and I'm present. And so that's been huge. My husband has had success with the weight loss. He's lost over 25 pounds, feeling amazing, has had relief from inflammation and carpal tunnel. So obviously the program works. We know that. We've shared it with hundreds of people now, and they too have had great success. If you're on our testimonial page, you'll see a number of testimonies. So we're going to jump in here. We're going to talk about our plan. We're going to talk about the products and some tips and tricks on how to use them. You need to know that you're in the right place. This plan is put together comprehensively to set you up for success. It's simple, it's easy to follow, it's structured. We've taken all of the guesswork out of the program for you. So if you follow it and you commit to it, it's foolproof. And so you will succeed. Know that you will succeed. And you have a lot of us here to support you to ensure that every step of the way. Starting with your upline, your sponsor, the person that signed you up and first introduced you to this program. They're here to help. The rest of our team is here to help. You have a long list of people ready by the phone or by the computer to help answer your questions. By now, you should have received your welcome email. We send out a welcome email with an attachment with all of your program and product information. So this is important to print off and review while you're waiting for your products to arrive, so that you can prepare your kitchen, I guess, and prepare mentally for what the first 8 days are going to look like. That welcome email is full of very valuable information, so we do ask that you take some time and review that prior to your products arriving. We've also got some really helpful Facebook pages, and I'm just going to list them here. The first one is called The Zing Thing. It's a great place for support. It's another great place to ask questions, to scroll through and see different people's ideas and suggestions along the way. That's a great Facebook page called The Zing Thing. Another one that you'll want to make sure you're added to is Singular's favorite recipes and snacks. There's endless 8-day approved and post-program approved recipes and ideas. So it doesn't have to be boring. There's lots of ways to spice things up. We also suggest that you add yourself to the corporate product support page. Singular's corporate product support page. There's lots of very valuable information on there. So Facebook alone contains a lot of places that you can go for support. We also have a great website that is full of information both on the product side and the program side, and that is found at www.ignitepossibilities.ca. And so you'll find a lot of very valuable information on that website. On top of all this, there is also an app that you can download for your smartphone that will help guide you through the 8 days. And we have a texting support. His name is Xander, and you've likely started to get texts from him. From the moment you signed up, you should have gotten a text from Xander welcoming you to the program and getting you set up so that when you get started on your 8 days, Xander is another support. You'll receive texts from him throughout each day of your first 8 days. And Xander comes for free. Like all of the other support that I just talked about, of course, that comes for free. But Xander comes for free for 30 days when you either purchase the blue box or the red box. If you haven't purchased those kits, you can still purchase Xander for $5 a month. And it is a very valuable tool. He will text you and guide you through your 8 days. In fact, if you have questions, you can text Xander back a question and he will answer you back. And so it's a very valuable piece of technology that we've just introduced. So, like you can see, the support is endless. We also have corporate support, so at any time you can email corporate@products@xangular.com or you can call them and we'll post the phone number on the video as well. So a lot of support, no fail system. We're going to set you up for success, and there's a ton of us behind you every step of the way. So I'm going to turn it over to Nicole.
Hey guys, that was awesome, Michelle. She's so well spoken. I'm not quite that way. I need lots of notes. For me, preparation was key. Planning your 8-day night will be the key to your success, really. Whether it be shopping, looking at your shopping list, following the plan, prepping your meals maybe every Sunday, knowing what you're going to eat and what can be available for snacks and meals are key to your success. We want you to know that this is not easy. It's a lifestyle choice and change, and this in fact is not a quick fix. It's not a magic pill, it's not a wrap, it's a lifestyle change. But you have so much support available to you to be so successful. I made the decision to improve my life and make better choices, and I still work on that every day. This also doesn't need to be boring. I will say, when I first started back in January of 2015, that I ate a lot of broccoli and chicken. Boring, bland chicken. I did get through that 8-day and lost 12 pounds in that 8 days, but I will tell you that I have learned so much since then, and we can change and help you make this enjoyable. We can make this clean eating for your whole family, and there's so many recipes and help on Pinterest and Facebook and in our groups that it should never be boring. And we're going to show you a few ways to change things up a little bit later. First of all, we want you to be prepared. So, like I said, Michelle said, print off your welcome package. Take a look through that. You're going to find a measurement sheet in there. You're going to find the suggestion to weigh and take pictures. Now, some people really balk at that, but I think it's really important. I don't have before pictures, and I'm not saying I'm sad about that too much, but I think it's really, really important to have the comparison. I think even if they're just for you or you and your coach to go over to see your success. Some people don't really have weight loss to lose, but they change and they turn inches and their body reshapes. So I think it's really important. So just be ready with that. Weigh, use the weigh sheet or the measurement sheet that's included in your welcome package. Weigh yourself the morning of the start of your 8-day and measure or take pictures.
Yeah, take those pictures. People, you don't have to show them to anybody, but when you put them side by side at the end of your 8 days, it's really rewarding to see how far you've come, and you'll be shocked. Literally, you'll be shocked. So let's dive in. Let's talk about what your 8 days is going to look like, and let's just first off, I want to start out by saying the 8 days is comprehensively designed to do a couple of things. We're detoxing and we're kickstarting the metabolism. So those two things together, we are producing quick results, but they're long-term results, okay? And so we're going to talk, and we're going to follow, we have a tracker, and you should have received that as well. A lot of people like the tracker. You can actually tick off as you go through your day, and know that you've done, you know, the recommended steps. But you can also look ahead and see what's the next step, because it's all about being prepared. And the more prepared you are, the more successful you will be. So it's basically broke down into two different formats. So day 1, 2, 4, 6, and 8 will look the same. Day 3 and 5 and 7 then will look a little different. So we're just going to cover those two variations and help you with some tips and tricks that we've learned along the way. So if you're looking at the tracker sheet, you're going to start off first thing, day 1, after you've weighed and measured and taken your pictures, with 8 ounces of water. Pretty simple, okay? Followed that, shortly after will be your breakfast. And this is the first time that you're going to have one of our lean smoothies. Now, I wasn't a big fan originally of shakes because most of the shakes I had tried were very heavy, chalky. I didn't like the texture. I didn't like the taste. So I was a little apprehensive to get started with this shake. I wasn't really sure I was even going to crack the bag open. But when I did and I smelt the flavor, I was pretty excited to get started. It's a vanilla flavor. I personally like to drink it with either crushed ice and water, just by itself. The vanilla flavor is really light. Or unsweetened almond milk. It just gives it a little heavier feel to it. But I know there's lots of ways to spice it up and change things up. I know Nicole's got some great suggestions.
Yeah, I think we'll go over a lot of that stuff in another little section after. That might be easier. But for me, I love the shake. I am a fan of unsweetened chocolate almond milk. I like the chocolate. So I put it in a blender with ice, and I use it as my little smoothie with a straw. I also make pancakes or waffles with it, which is a great alternative. Maybe if you're struggling with shake or don't really like the texture or something. I also make the lean protein bars, and that's not 8-day approved, but for following, it's sure a great idea.
So it's 1 scoop, though you'll find a scoop in the bottom of the bag likely, and it's 1 scoop mixed however you like in the shaker cup that you received. Okay, so that's getting started on day 1 for your breakfast. You'll also have 1 ounce of your Global blend. So I look forward to my Global every day. 1 ounce is all you need. And we just take a shot. For me, it's helped with inflammation, it's helped with hormones, I know it's helped with my skin, and we just never go a day without it. My kids haven't missed a day of school this year from flu or sickness of any kind because of the Global blend. So in the morning, you'll take your 1 shot, 22 superfruits in the Global blend, and you'll have your water with 2 Action. Action is our multi-mineral, multivitamin. Now I don't know about you guys, but I've used a lot of multi-minerals or vitamins in the past, taking them first thing in the morning, and by 10 o'clock when I visit the washroom, I can see in my urine that I'm not absorbing very much from my multivitamin. Ours is very unique in that it's cold pressed and it is bi-layered, so it's time released throughout the day. And when you take a look at it, you'll see a yellow side and you'll see a green side to this. The yellow side dissolves immediately into your body, and so it is absorbed immediately, and the green side is dissolved throughout the day, and so it's kind of like an IV drip. Okay, so you're basically providing nutrients to your body throughout the day, and it's allowing your body to absorb everything. So you'll take 2 of these in the morning with your Global and your lean shake, and that's your breakfast. You're good to go.
I just wanted to throw in, I started taking 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening, just because I heard on a call somewhere that it helps with nail and hair growth if you take it at night. So that's kind of what I do. Some people can only take 1 because it upsets their stomach initially. You get used to that and it gets so it doesn't bother you. But that's just a tip, and it's helped with hair growth for sure. My hair grows like crazy.
I did not know that. That's awesome.
Okay, next we're going to move on to pre-meal. So your protein meal is actually going to be at about 10:30 in the morning. So at 10 o'clock you're going to want to take your cheat. And this is just a filler. So before you take your meal, you're just going to take this. You're going to wait a half an hour, and you're going to roll right into your protein meal. Now they call it a snack on our tracker, but it's actually your meal included. So it's 3 to 6 ounces of protein for women, And most people have to kind of figure out where they fit in that, depending on what weight you want to lose and what that looks like. Then you're going to talk to your coach and figure out how much protein you should be taking. If you're hungry at some point, then you maybe need to up your protein. And with that, you're going to take your Zing as well. So our Zing is our magical energy supplement that Michelle is in love with, really in love with. And this is going to give you loads of energy. So this is also something that as you're moving through the program, you're going to want to keep in touch with your coach, because some people are going to want to take more for more energy, some people are going to want to take less. So it's just really trying to figure out with your coach what fits for you.
That's right. It's not cookie cutter for everybody. We have a guideline, and then we make suggestions, and we make some alterations depending on how things are going and you as an individual. Everybody comes to the table with different goals, different needs in mind, and so just know that we can make adjustments. Like Nicole said, you might take one or you might take two.
Moving along, you want to go to your meal or your next meal. So the program is really important that you eat 2.5 to 3 hours all day long. Part of what gets our metabolism stuck is that you can go a long time without eating and you're not fueling your body, so it doesn't know when it's going to get fed next, so it really shuts down on you. And there'll be no fat loss and no weight loss. So our next meal is going to be at noon, and we're going to have our lean shake again. So lucky for you, there's a lot of ways, and we're going to go over that a little bit later on how to drink it. But you're going to start with that, and you're going to follow that with Accelerate. And you're going to take 2 Accelerates. 2 Accelerates? Yes, 1 to 2. So this is another thing you're going to talk to with your coach. You're going to figure out where you're going to start, and you're going to figure out where you're going to go with that. This is our fat burner, and it will also have a little bit of energy in there. So it's fantastic to follow a meal with to burn those extra calories.
I'll just add a little bit about Accelerate too. If any of you work out, I like to take my Accelerate just before I work out, and it does definitely help. It increases my performance and increases the calories that are burnt throughout my workout. So that's a great supplement. Okay, so after that, we're going to move on, and like Nicole said, we're fueling our body every 2.5 to 3 hours. It's very important. It's also important to mention that we never want to hear that you're hungry, and really you shouldn't be hungry. If you are, we need to talk about that. This isn't, a calorie-reduced, restricted plan. We're fueling the body appropriately, and we're fueling the body often. And so if at any point through the program you really feel hungry, that is a conversation to have with your coach. Don't allow yourself to go on long like that. Okay, so the next step is half an hour before your next snack, you're going to have your cheat. Again, like Nicole talked about, your fiber. Cheat is awesome. It's just strictly fiber, and it's going to help that filler feeling faster, and it's going to help actually block up to 25% of calorie intake.
And then we're going to follow that again with another protein meal. This one is just going to be strictly protein without the vegetables. So we're going to follow that up with another Zing or 2. If you feel like you've got enough energy to sustain you for the rest of the day, then maybe the Zing is you're not going to need to take it now. But that's again something that you're going to want to go over with your coach and figure out where you want to start. And then you're going to take your Accelerate again. So your Accelerate 1 to 2. I think I would start with 1 for every meal at the start, because there's energy and caffeine in there. You're going to want to make sure that you're not going to keep up at night. So I would start with 1. And then for dinner, we're back to the smoothies. So like I said, we're going to go over a little bit in another section about what we can do with the smoothies to change up the flavor. But for me, really, in a blender with ice, I'm weird, I need a straw. But that seems to work for me, and I'm 2 years in almost, and I'm still not sick of them. And then last but not least, want to go over that?
Sure. The flesh is awesome. Part of the detox is within the colon. And so 2 flesh at night, you may want to start with 1, but 1 to 2 at night with something warm. It will help to accelerate the flesh, getting it working. And really it does exactly what the name says. It's not a product that will have you running to the bathroom the next morning. But let's just say that when you do go to the bathroom, it will be a very effective use of your time, okay? And there's definitely something to be said about detoxing on a higher level. And this product definitely does that. Some of us are carrying around between 5 and 15 pounds of straight toxins. And that's alarming. Not only is that unwanted weight, but it's very unhealthy. That toxic barrier is, you know, stopping your body from absorbing nutrients at the highest level. And so we really need to rid the body of those toxins, not only for the weight loss side of things, but for the wellness side of things. So 1 or 2 at night with something warm and you're good to go, I guess.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note here that this is just kind of our, you know, instructional video for our team. Everyone's going to coach differently. I always personally coach for everyone to start with 1 for a couple days just to see where you're at and what that's going to do, and then we can always increase.
Yeah, absolutely.
And moving forward, I'm sure you see a few things on here that we haven't talked about yet. So we're just going to quickly go over those. This XR2, this is a godsend. And if you get a blue box, then you're going to get the XR2 and the Zip Sticks and an extra bag of Lean Shake. So the XR2 is one of my favorites. I was on sleeping prescriptions for about 5.5 years, and this little bad boy helped me get off them. And now I've been off them for 2 years. I sleep like the dead. This is a funny story. Last night in my house, I had 4 dogs in my bed with me because my kids aren't all home and I have all their dogs. And I literally slept like a rock. They don't even bother me. So for stress, and people take it a lot of different ways. For a while I was taking 1 in the morning with my Zing and then 1 at bedtime. Now I just take 1 at night, kind of after supper. And not really even every day. I think it helps to train your brain to sleep better as well.
If I can just add, if you or you know somebody that suffers from anxiety throughout the day, it's absolutely amazing for that. Really, it just helps with mental clarity, mental focus, and it also helps with the cortisol levels. So if you are somebody, again, that works out, it's a great supplement to add before your workout and helps with those cortisol levels. So it's a very diverse supplement that's used for a lot of different things, but very beneficial.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to swing right into Spring, or maybe Michelle should cover this. I take Spring on a regular basis. This is they call it a recovery drink. It's not really like Gatorade in a bottle, I guess, but it's a super alternative to Gatorade. It gives you lots of energy. There's 2 flavors. Michelle likes Tropical Fusion. I like Lemon Lime. And I do a lot of different things with these. I mix it in water, I mix it in my shake, I mix it with my global powder form and drink it like that. Various other things. And then Michelle can talk a little bit about what she uses it with her workout. Because I don't do that yet.
Yeah, absolutely. My husband and I both love the Spring for pre, during, and post-workout. And our kids both play hockey, so we have replaced their Gatorade with Spring. And a few other kids too on their team, so it's awesome. It is jam-packed full of vitamins. It's great for recovery. I feel like it boosts my energy as well through a workout, and so we just never go without it. Spring is awesome, and with the 2 different flavors, there's 1 for everybody.
Right. And like the Zip Sticks, it comes in 2 forms. It comes in this tub of powder form for you to keep at home, but then it also comes in these little handy packages that you can throw in your truck. I have these everywhere. My kids have them, everyone has them. My husband drinks them a lot.
They're great for travel.
Yeah.
So easy.
And we have the same in the Zip Sticks, which is our powdered global blend. I wanted to mention earlier we have 2 different kinds of global blend. Michelle likes the new and I like the classic. And I think it's all just depending on your taste and what you're after. You'll figure out which is your favorite. And then we have the Zip Sticks, which is powder form. And these 2 powder forms both come in the blue box. And same thing, we use them with our lean, we mix them with water, you know, we kind of use them for multi-purpose things. There's actually some great recipes on the Zing thing and on the Singular recipe page with like chocolate berry muffins made with the lean and there's Zip Sticks and other things like that.
Yeah.
Michelle's just going to cover quickly the alternate day that we have, and then we'll go over the last 2 products and wrap it up.
Okay, so like we mentioned, day 1, 2, 4, 6, and 8 will all be structured the same. Day 3, 5, and 7 will just be a little bit different. And so if you take a look at your tracker, you'll easily, see the differences. So day 3, I'm just going to quickly run through this because we've already explained all of the products. Day 3, morning of day 3, you're going to wake up with your water. Water is super important to help flush the toxins. So we really want to make sure we're getting all of the water in. Toxins hold weight, toxins hold water, and so the water is actually going to help flush out the water weight that the toxin is holding on. And for a lot of us, especially women, we'll notice that in the belly area very quickly. So you're going to wake up with your water. Very shortly after that, you're going to have your breakfast. That's lean smoothie, 1 ounce of Global Blend, your 2 Action, and again another glass of water. Half an hour after that, you're going to be having your 1 to 2 cheat and some more water. Half an hour, approximately half an hour, 20 minutes after that, you're going to have your AM snack, your morning snack, and that's going to consist of your protein meal, your green vegetables, your water, and your zinc. Shortly after that, it'll be lunchtime. And it sounds like we're eating a lot, and we are. You never should be hungry. Work this throughout your day, and just know that every 2.5 to 3 hours, you will be having a small meal. Lunch on day 3 will consist of 3 to 6 ounces of protein, your water, and now we're introducing some grain options. And so all of the options are listed on the shopping list. And we can maybe talk about those options a little bit later, but this is where you're going to be introducing grains, and you'll be having your Accelerate with your lunch, shortly after your lunch. Then, 2.5 to 3 hours later, you'll have your afternoon snack, which could be something like a 1/4 cup of almonds, peanuts, or sunflower seeds. You'll also have some water with this. Half an hour before dinner, you will have 1 to 2 treat with water. Your dinner tonight will consist of your protein meal, your green vegetables, and your water. And then just before bed again, we're going to be using our flesh with something warm. And that's it. That's as simple as it is.
I think you heard Michelle mention water quite a few times. Our goal with this program is to drink up to 4 liters or a gallon of water a day. It seems like a lot, but you really need to flush out those toxins, and you really feel so much better when you drink that much. So I'm just going to quickly go over kind of dosages for these last 2 things. We're not going to go over them. We'll actually post the YouTube video that our friend Christy Welsh made for us, explaining all the products. She does such an amazing job of explaining everything in detail, so I don't feel like we need to do that. But the last ones are our hormone balancers and enhancers. So these are for men and women. And you're going to want to start out with 1 tablet in the evening. I would take it before your flush quite a ways. You can work your way up to 2 and then 3. You don't want to start at 3 because it can have some adverse effects, maybe some headaches and stuff like that. I personally only take 1 shine a day, and that seems to make everything a lot better. And that's kind of it for our program lineup. We hope you got something out of this. And we're actually going to do another little segment on our tips and tricks to flavor.